Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the closing video for Hot Takes with myself, Kent Ketter, bringing you some red-white Eldrazi action, which the creator has so correctly named it Hateful 8. That is Phil Gallagher over at Thraben University. Came across this through some mutual friends, and as I had nothing that really jumped out to me from the past weekend's events, I wanted to do something a little different and do some legacy. So we came to this one. Anyway, 4-1. Good little sequence of wins. A lot of combo decks got beaten up on. Lands, we were able to just stay just a little bit ahead on them and really leverage Thalia, Heretic, Cathar. I think this video series is really just all about Thalia. Heretic, Cathar, a couple games, Guardian of Thraben did a lot of work, and it just shows how tight the edges are in Legacy, and how if instead of trying to play those extremely efficient brainstorms and ponders and the like, if you would like to show up with cards like Thalia's, you can punish a lot of these other players and close out games in a good amount of time. 3 power, 2 power, 4 power Thought-Knot Seers will end the game in quick fashion. As far as things that I didn't like with the deck, this is more of a fundamental complaint about these type of decks in Legacy, but I, really miss the card selection, being able to brainstorm and, go my way through, but obviously that's not what this deck is trying to do. I think that this given configuration maximizes on the effects that matter, which is everything, and since we don't have any sort of filtering, you want to see the core of the cards here: Revoker, Thalia, Thalia number 2, and Lotus Petal was actually pretty good. I was a little hesitant on that one, but you get a couple games where you drop the turn 1 Thalia or turn 1 play at all, and you tend to run away with the game from there. Nothing I'd really change there. I definitely think this deck locks out more people, so it doesn't need to maximize on the smashers. And Flametongue Kavu is just your best chance at a removal spell. Blows up quite a few things. Sideboard had everything I liked. I would really like to see maybe some concession to the fact that you might not always be able to sideboard in all 4 copies, especially with the swords. I could see there being some configurations where you don't need to bring in all of them, or some matchups, and if that's the case, maybe you don't need all 4 swords. There might be some other options. Regardless, the sideboard cards were highly functional. Wear Tear was great, and more Kavus for your creature matchups seemed fantastic. I really don't have anything negative to say here. This was a good deck. It has fast, adequate mana with its soul lands. It plays 8 of those, and if it jumps ahead by even or if it jumps ahead on even 1 or 2 turns, a lot of our opponents are just too far behind. So, look past the Kavus, look past the cards that maybe you aren't normally jiving with in Legacy. Ignore the fact that there's a little light on the blue action, and this is a sweet one. Definitely feels like you have more of a chance to get some opponents than you do with just regular Eldrazi, since you actually interact with them by means of your creatures, giving them a little bit of a prison effect. So, great work. This was a fun one. Definitely check out the deck list in the video comments below, and check it out on Cardhoarder.com if you're looking to pick up some copies for Magic Online. The deck is very affordable there. A lot of these different cards on Magic Online are much cheaper than the paper versions, so might be a good time to take it for a spin. Anyway, folks, I appreciate you checking me out. Please leave comments on the videos. I promise you that I'm looking at them. I am taking some of the stuff into account. In the opening comments, I made sure to kind of explain to folks what's going on with Hot Takes, so if you missed that, we'll do it again. The whole intent of this Hot Takes column is for me to take a deck that I have not touched before and run it through a league, give you my initial, kind of views and opinion on the deck. And the reason behind that is, everyone else is doing these great videos on, deck mastery, or they're doing it on, drafting or limited, or these other aspects of their testing process, head-to-head testing and the like. Those are all wonderful, but a lot of people, their hardest part going through a deck is seeing it go through those first few games and, not just jumping ship. So what I try to do is just play through my games, present you with some of my opinions on what the deck is doing, and just show you that, things will go badly your first few games, but you have to focus on what the deck is doing and not as much on the lines of play. I do go a little bit deeper than I probably admittedly even should in the lines of play. And I should be thinking more of, how well was this deck performing overall, and does it feel like it has the tools it needs to be able to compete moving forward? And I personally would need a really good reason to show up to a tournament with this, but I think it's got a lot of things that you need to win a Magic the Gathering tournament, and to look at it and maybe dismiss it because of some unique choices like Petals or Flametongue Kavus is a little bit crazy, because the deck is fun and it's really good, and Thalia and Thalia and Thalia, a little bit of Displacer, but mostly Thalia. They just want to party. So, thanks for checking in. This was Kent Ketter with Cardhoarder, bringing you Red White Eldrazi, the Hateful Eight, on a hot take. Check in next week. I think I'm going to be touching base with some modern stuff, but if not, feel free to reach out to me on social media, at ShambleSnark or /KentKetter1 on Facebook, and I would be happy to take suggestions maybe for next week's videos. Definitely looking for decks that were played in larger tournaments, or from, prestigious tournaments of various kinds, just because I feel like those type of decks, people are already going to give them a little bit of, weight because they did well in a large event. Anyway, thanks for checking in, folks. We'll see you around.